Hi everyone and welcome to Club Deck Corner here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight, so as always get your comments in if you can. We may do our best to answer a couple of questions. Like and share as always. So tonight we actually have a full panel tonight. There was going to be 3, but there now is 4. First of all, Mr. Ryan Haymarch, how are you doing this fine Tuesday night after Rangers ruining another weekend?
I was fine. You mentioned Rangers there. I was going to say I'm doing fine. I don't think I've ever been introduced as part of a panel. I'll take that. That makes me sound like a pundit or something, and not just a
professional
football fan. Aye, very good. Good to be on. Good to see the boys on as well. And let's dissect it because I'm sure we'll feel better after it. We can't feel any worse.
Yeah, I know. Do we have to bloody talk about it? But unfortunately, it's a Rangers podcast and we do. My next guest, Craig McKenzie, how are you tonight?
Brilliant, mate. It's so upbeat again after another brilliant couple of days. All things Rangers, everything's positive on that front. So, yep, like Ryan, dying to get stuck into everything Rangers.
And all the way from Inverness, Mr. Scott Carney, how are you? How's Inverness?
Yeah, fine, mate. Yeah, Inverness.
How was A9? Was it all right?
No, I hate that bloody road. You know that? I do hate that road. But yes, I'm away for work. I'm relying on hotspot and off the phone here. So if this all goes tits up and I disappear, then you'll all know why. But yes, what else was I going to do apart from come cheer myself up talking about Rangers? And if you feel that bad about it, you three, imagine doing a reaction pod on your own. That's all I'm going to say.
Done a good job, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thank you, Craig. There you go. You'll get paid this week for that, Craig. Well done, mate.
I've not watched it yet.
You're definitely not getting paid. No. You still owe me about 3 tons on your private jet, mate, so there's no way you're getting paid.
I know. It's sitting there for the next 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah, well, as we're talking about it, we might as well get into it. Rangers played Livingston on Sunday at the whatever it's called. It's not called the Tony Macaroni anymore, but whatever it's called at Livingston. Ended a 2-each draw, which for me is criminal. That's 3 away trips there and a draw in each. 3 points out of 9, which is not title winning material. I know I've had a lot of folk think I'm quite negative in here sometimes in terms of this Rangers team, and even after Hearts, I still said to you that I still don't believe in them. And Sunday was the reason why I don't believe that. I still don't believe they will win the league, Rangers, because they've got that in them. We'll get into it. Obviously, Carney did his post-match. Ryan, we'll dissect bits of the game, but what's your initial reactions? Obviously, a couple of days after the game.
I am disheartened by them. There's no doubt about that. It's a bit of a buzzkill. Going into this weekend, I was flying. I think I was on the pod. It was 2 weeks ago. I don't think I was on last week. 2 weeks ago with Carney, and it was probably one of the most positive pods I've done from my perspective, because we've not had a lot of successful teams since I've joined the podcast. But positive, praising Roll for getting managed in one, praising the defence, praising the team's stretch of results, getting big results against that lot, the Aberdeen doubleheader. I kept saying it needs to be the next one, and it does. It always has to be the next one. You can't just rest on your last victory. You're only as good as your last pass at Rangers. So feared that these results were coming, but I was hoping they were going to stick it up. Make it, Ali, like you know me in the group chat, I'm quite vocal and critical and reactive, but I hope that I get shut up with it, and they've done it again. For me, it's gone. I've said that again. I've said it twice this season, so I've went back my word. I hope I go back on it again, but am I on this myself now? I think I am. So I'll just keep continuing. Hope the boys put me back in. It was a bit weird looking at myself. I don't lie to you, but I think that there's a big question marks at this stage of the season. You don't want to see this, Ali. You don't want to be asking questions of your team. There needs to be more answers than questions at this stage of the season, and there seems to be more questions about this team. Do they have the desire for it? why is there a lack of urgency about them when they're going about the kind of mundane games of Livingston and Motherwell and the games that they should be winning easily? Motherwell aside, maybe. But the games that should be 3 points in the bag, you're playing bottom of the league, Ali. That should be a given on Sunday. It should be an absolute given. It should be, even us playing poorly, we should be able to scrape a 2-1 win or something like that there. We were maybe lucky to get a draw. I mean, being 2-0 down is absolutely criminal. And yeah, it was 2 chances, but they were miles off it. For me, there was no reaction to them when they went down 1-0 leader, which worried me. I think the keeper had a couple of good saves in the first half. For me, they were saves he should be making. A good goalkeeper should be making. I don't know, I'm critical of keepers anyway, but we don't cut teams open enough, Ali. We are not clinical enough up front. Chermiti is not good enough. We have a joke and a laugh and that, but he is not good enough to win this league. He will not score the goals. I want my striker scoring 10 goals from the end of the season to win this league. He won't. He won't, Ali. And this is where I think we'll fall short. They need to have a massive look at themselves. I could go on, Ali, I could go on for another 5 minutes and talk about Roll as well. I feel as if he's picking the wrong players at the moment. Not all of them, but the likes of Gassama's, bringing Asgard's off the bench. I'd rather not bring anybody off the bench if Asgard's the option. There's just massive question marks just now over this team. And I'm at the stage where I'm thinking, 10 games left? There's 4 points behind Hearts. Technically, Hearts could only need to win 8 games to win the league. I think they could win 7 and win it. And that's what worries me, because we will definitely drop from now to the end of the season.
Yeah, Hearts, and a lot of folks say Hearts are going to fall away and stuff. And after getting defeated off the Rangers last week, you wondered how would they respond, and well, they do respond. Hearts, they picked up. It might not have been pretty, but they picked up 3 points, and I would have snapped your hand for that against Livingston if it wasn't pretty, but it was 3 points. I would have taken that. It's just so disappointing, Craig, in terms of Rangers, because for me, you look at the last 3 away games, Rangers should have, at this point, have Celtic out the game before playing them at Ibrox next week in terms of where they are. The only upside for me at the weekend was the Celtic get beat, which kept us above them in terms of, it helps in terms of next week, in terms of we can maybe go further ahead of them. I know they've got a game in hand. We dragged a point back in Hearts, but I think you put in the group chat as well, Craig, Hearts are the team to beat. And you've got to take them seriously now. 10 games to go. I mean, if you're not taking them seriously now, you're having a laugh. They've got a fantastic chance of winning this league title. Probably deserve to win it, if you're being honest. But you were at the game on Sunday as well, watching them. What's, as I said to Ryan, a couple of days after the draw, what's your thoughts on it?
Much the same as you guys. You're going to, like Ryan says, you're playing against a team at the bottom of the league, and I think they're bottom of the league by like 9 points. They're technically a championship team, let's be honest. No disrespect to them. You're going there, that's your bread and butter. That's a comfortable victory for a team like Rangers that have spent, upwards of £40 million reportedly this summer. It's not good enough. Obviously, going to the game, you're thinking we're going to be coming away with the 3 points. Everything started positive. I thought the crowd, to be fair, were brilliant the whole game on Sunday. But I just get the feeling from the players for the word go, and I says that to Colin that I was at the game with. I just felt that the attitude for the players seemed to be that they were just going to turn up and win the game. That's the feeling that I got for the players on the park on Sunday. They just seem to have that kind of swagger about them. They weren't going to have any urgency again. We'll do things at our own pace. It was the side-to-side passing, the backwards passing. It took to the man get sent off and 2-0 down for us to kind of believe that, we've got a game to win here. And that's when they kind of took their finger out their backside and tried to go for it. But it was the attitude that's not going to win you titles. And like Ryan's already says, players like Chermiti, again, we've seen it at the weekend, he's just got no composure in front of goal whatsoever. I think there was 2 or 3 really good chances that a wee bit of composure and he scored the goal, and he just fires the ball, puts his toe through it straight at the goalkeeper. And everybody's going on about the goalkeeper had this world-class performance. Again, I'm with Ryan. He made 2 or 3 maybe good saves. The rest of them were just our lack of composure in front of goals and more or less just putting his body on the line. Yeah, I'm not buying all these excuses that Livingston had the game of their lives and this and they're fighting for that. Rangers should have beat Livingston comfortably. That's straight up end of story.
Yeah, I agree. The goalkeeper had a good save for Romans first 5 minutes, I think, and all his other saves for me were camera saves, if you want to say. Maybe look good on the telly, but there's ones he's going to make. But yeah, Rangers should not be going to Livingston and dropping points. And I said before the Livingston game when we were last on that Rangers can't just turn up there and expect to win the game, because you look at this season, Livingston were very unlucky not to get a point at Celtic Park the other week. We struggled against them this season, a 2-1 5 months ago at Livingston's ground, where we got a 94th minute winner with Aarons. Even at Ibrox, it was a 2-1 where we struggled again. And I mean, once again, they gifted goals. They've get back into a game, but it's too little, too late. And we had a mump and moan about the VAR decision at the end, which we'll probably come on to. But taking it out of the equation, Rangers, they shouldn't be in that situation with 5-10 minutes to go, trying to get a goal to rescue it. They've shot themselves in the foot, Rangers, and this is why I keep saying I just don't believe they got it to win this league. I just don't believe it, because of days like Sunday there, where it comes back and you go, yes, this is why. I just don't think they'll do it because of that. Obviously, same question to you a couple of days later. Has your thoughts kind of changed from your post-reaction?
No, I mean, I was massively disappointed with the way Rangers approached that game on Sunday. And if you're not going to show the hunger and the fight now, then when are you going to? You can't just rely on beating Hearts and Celtic to win the league. You have to take care of these other games. And yeah, look, Hibs, Livingston might have been playing for everything right now. They're in the situation where they have to play for every single point. Yes, they could have still have played, then we can still put it in quotations as the game of their lives. A Rangers team that's going for the title still beats that Livingston team. It's as simple as that. If the application, desire, the hunger, the heart is there for it, whereas I don't think it was. And there's too many times we've seen it now over Danny Rill's period of coming in, where you're just not seeing that. I said it on the post-match, and it's what I believe. It is there, but they're not showing us that they want to go and get it. Go and get it. It's right there for you. I mean, if we do go and win this league, and if it is to happen, then I honestly think it would be almost hard done to. Hearts would be right to feel hard done to, that a level of team that we are, and a level of team that even at Celtic were, if Celtic were to go and win the league, has won this league. If Hearts don't win it this year, they're never going to, and that's my honest opinion. If they don't win it now, and that was the bit that I was so frustrated about after the game, is we've now took it out of our hands. It's now not up to us. Hearts now have to drop points for us to win the league, and that's the bit that really riled me. I thought all you had to do was go to Livingston, beat the bottom of the team. Didn't have to be spectacular. It didn't have to be free-flowing, entertaining football on a plastic pitch, but it had to be professional, and it had to be a win, and it wasn't. And that's concerning. That is concerning. And again, the only time what you guys have said, the only time we showed that hunger is when they went down to 10 men, because they realised, oh, hang on, we've actually been given an opportunity here. But I'm with the result that went the other way in Glasgow on Sunday. I'm not at the point where I think that we're out of it and we won't do it. I think there is still a chance. I still think Hearts could potentially drop points. Right now, though, we've had our bumps. We've had these twists and turns. Rangers have had them now. We've played that card far too many times now. There is no twists and turns left. In order for Rangers to win the league, we have to win pretty much every single game. The home form doesn't really worry me. I'm not going to lie. I think Rangers will take care of most teams at Ibrox. I think we'll be pretty comfortable there. But this away form right now is becoming a thing, and it needs to be resolved, and it needs to be resolved quickly. But I still think we have a chance. Yes, I think Hearts could drop points. Again, maybe I'm clinging on to hope more than expectation there. But with the way the result went on Sunday against Celtic, I thought, right, we've still got time. We've still got a chance to put pressure on. We beat Celtic, we beat Hearts, we get to a point, then a point's completely different, a completely different level of pressure. But I'm just disappointed with the way that the Rangers approached it. And again, I'm glad that Danny Rule didn't really hide behind any form of excuses. He wasn't making things up. That's one thing that I think he got correct on Sunday, was the way that he approached the post-match. I think he was like, that's 2 points dropped, and it was. You won't win a league not beating 8 teams. But as I say, with the twists and turns that there has been with this bonkers season that it has been, I think we've played our cards now. We've played every one of the cards. There's no more slip-ups left. There's no more spaces left. In order to go and win this, the players have to show they want to go and get it. And I expect Rangers to win pretty much every game, I would think, to the end of the season, if we're really serious about this. Sunday's turned into, a colossal fixture. Doesn't mean we'll win the league on Sunday, no, but it'll kind of, I don't know, will it show me? Because, as I say, home form for me is not really my concern. As I say, it's like you're kind of catch-22, I suppose, about how to properly feel. If they'd have won at the weekend, I'd have thought, nah, we don't have it in us. But for them to drop points at home is pretty much inexcusable in this sort of tight title race that there is. So I've changed. There's a slight bit more perspective, I suppose, on my part, but I'm still massively concerned by how we approached our business, and the disappointing bit is that it's not ours to win anymore, it's Hearts to lose.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we'll look at the games coming up before the split in a wee bit, but and some of the players on Sunday for me, I'll start with the defence. John Souttar, who I just got a new contract to. I've been banging the drum in this podcast for I don't know how long. I think he's a decent squad player for Rangers, but that's it. We need to look at a centre half. He's got bomb scares in him all the time. And your pal, Tavernier, I thought he was shocking at the weekend. I know he set the goal up for Mikey Moore to get the second goal, but I thought his distribution at times, Tav, was really, really poor. And he's really struggling. I know Dujon Sterling, who has made the paper mache, we know about him. He can play a game and he's out for 3 weeks, etc. Aaron's, they don't trust. Tab's the guy they go to because he plays 50, 60 games for the Rangers, but his time's up with me with Rangers now, Tab. He's 34 years of age. He's had a good career with Rangers, but we need to move him on next season. But those two in particular, and we'll move on to other players as well, but what was your thoughts on those two in particular at the weekend?
Absolutely piss poor. Like they were terrible. It's boring to hear me criticising Tavernier. I try not to do it as much now because it's at the stage where someone should have had a conversation with him in the summer. Someone should have said, we're looking to, as a club, move on, because Tavernier's been at this stage for a long time, and he'll bounce back, and he'll have a game where he scores a goal and gets an assist, or he plays half decent. But he's not a starter for Rangers anymore. He can't be. Well, he is, but he shouldn't be. We should have an upgrade on that side of the pitch. There is no doubt about it. I think we hoped Aarons would be. Russell Martin to jump back a bit, started him off at left back and totally shut the boy's confidence. By the time he came over to the right-hand side, I think he was terrified to play for Rangers. So I don't think he's going to be the right back. Sterling is probably my favourite Rangers player just for the way he applies himself. He's constantly got desire, but we can't rely on him. He's I think we get more games out of Ryan Jack than we did Dujon Sterling. If you look over this kind of injured period, comes back, injured period, we can't have a player like that, unfortunately, in Sterling, so we need to invest in the right-hand side. You can probably clip that and find that in the archives every single season, I say that, but we really need to invest money in this right-hand side because it's detrimental. I find Tavernier detrimental to this Rangers side now, Ali. Yes, the cross found Mikey Moore. It's a great cross as well. How many crosses did he put in and we waste the ball? We lose the ball through early crosses. They don't find anyone. And the crosses I find really lazy for Tavernier. Is it because he's not got energy to run up the wing? Is it, I don't know what it is. Is it a desire to, does he think his teammates can't play the system he wants to play? I don't know what it is. But the amount of times we waste the ball through James Tavernier is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Souttar is another talking point for me. He's been way off it. There's jokes about him, his weight loss and whatever. I don't know what it is, but he is way off the player that I thought was at the beginning of the season. Maybe he was a bit better. I wouldn't have him on my team on Sunday, Ali. I would not have him at centre half on Sunday. I would have Jigger before him. can't believe I'm saying that either, but that's how poor the two of them have been.
His
And in a
Lovejohns.
game like that, in a game like that as well, I'm just kind of bottom of the league, and you're getting shown up against bottom of the league. That's a worry. If you can't perform against bottom of the league, then you can't be in this team for this title running. So the two of them were extremely poor on Sunday, and I would chop them, unfortunately. I don't know if we can with Tavernier on. I don't think you can put Evans in there. He's not fit enough, but I would definitely chop Suter. There's no option, but you have to let him go in Sunday and play Jigger, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, folk know my feelings in John Suter. I don't need to keep going on about it, but Craig, what was your feelings? Obviously, being at the game there, and the two of them. I mean, I don't think Fernandez wasn't great at times either, but the two of them in particular. I mean, Suter, the amount of goals he cost us is unbelievable. He does have a lot of good games, Suter, but the amount of goals he cost us, there's a lot of goals he cost us. And as we say, Tav, 34 years of age, I just think he's coming to an end. As Ryan says, I think he'll have the odd good game there now and then, but we need to look at that right-hand side, centre half and right back in the summer.
Again, like Ryan says, we kind of get sick of going over and over the same kind of thing with Tavernier. You know what you're getting from him now. That's just unfortunate. But if you've not got Dujon Sterling, again, you've got the dilemma that who do you play? Do you play Tavernier? Do you play Max Aarons? Tavernier, for me, just edges it. So it was like even Scov Olsson getting hooked at half-time. I thought that was partly because he was struggling to play alongside Tavernier on the right. And he wasn't able to play his game because of Tavernier, and he was the one, unfortunately, to get hooked for it. But I think there was more players than just Tavernier and Suter, to be honest. I thought the middle of the park was dreadful. And Sunday,
making our way up the team, Craig, don't worry.
Oh, sorry, aye. But aye, sorry.
Good, I've more to say.
I know. But again, John Suter, when he makes a mistake, it tends to lead to a goal. That's the unfortunate thing with John Suter, and it's been like a pattern over the last few seasons. But Fernandez, again, I don't think, apart from the goal, he gets pass marks for that. But defensively, I don't think he covered himself in glory. Romans was the only one in the back four I thought was kind of one of the players that you could say actually had a decent game. Yeah. But no, there's definitely weaknesses in that back line, but there has been for a long time now.
Yeah, Carney, what was your thoughts on that too? And moving into the midfield, if you want to say. Again, I thought Raskin, again, just isn't showing it for me. Too many loose balls and everything. He's been doing it for weeks and weeks, Raskin. Diamandi, for me, starts over him all the time. I don't know why Diamandi didn't come on, but your thoughts briefly on Tav and Suter and Raskin at the moment, because I think Raskin's form's been really poor.
Yeah, Suter's been on the sauce since he signed a new contract. I think that looked pretty clear that he'd had a few jars. No, I'm only kidding on. It was an off day for Suter. I agree. I don't think Suter's the long-term solution for Rangers, and I think his contract extension reflects that. I think they are hedging their bets that I'd imagine somebody's going to come in for. If Fernandez continues on the kind of form that he's been shown for the rest of the season, I would imagine there'll be a team that will make an offer that Rangers will probably have to consider, which would be some turnaround for him considering what we've seen from him at the start of his Rangers career. He's come on leaps and bounds. Suter is, I wouldn't play Giga over him, and that's my personal opinion. I think Giga terrifies me. He really does. Suter does, but not as much as what Giga does. I don't have any kind of trust in Giga without just a complete brain fart really happening for him. And I can't get the long johns up my head. No, I'm kidding. But with Suter, right now, what else can we do? That's the thing. And it was a poor day at the office for him. There's absolutely no doubt there was. With James Tavernier, Tav got us the assist for the second goal, right? And that's kind of what he offers now. He kind of will get the odd cross going in and he'll get the assist. Obviously, he's the penalty taker, yes. But there's just no danger I'm playing Max Aarons over James Tavernier. There isn't. There's just no chance. I've not seen anything from Aarons. Tav can't do what he used to do, and he can't. He's definitely well past his peak, and I think we've all been saying for years now that this should be James Tavernier's last season, etc. But it's again, we're still here, and we still have relied on him times this season. Time waits for no man, unfortunately, and you all know, as I say, I'm a fan of Tav, and I always kind of have been, but even I will admit that this isn't the solution now, but it is the solution. It's the only solution I see for the rest of this season, with Sterling being the injury proneness that he is, with Max Aaron's not being half the player that I thought we might be getting. And yeah, it might be something to do with Martin, the way he treated him at the start of the season. But there's no way I'd be playing Max Aaron's on an Old Firm on Sunday. It would be Tavernier. And yeah, the midfield, Raskin's not kicked a ball in I don't know how long. Honestly, I don't. I can't even remember. I think there was one game, I think it was at Ibrox, that I thought he kind of showed up. I can't remember what game it was because my memory's that good. Then I'm that good a podcaster that I can remember these things. But I remember thinking he was much better. But there's just too often his passing's getting worse, which is kind of worrying. He just can't make simple passes. It's lazy passes as well. It's just not committing to finding your man. It's not playing any pass with any sort of conviction. And I've said it plenty of times. We've seen that Nico Raskin can dominate midfields, and at this level, against Livingston at this stage in the season, he should be controlling that midfield, and he didn't. I thought Chukwueze was pretty much running about trying to do it all himself. At points, I think he thought, I just need to clear up for everybody here, and I actually don't mind him. I actually think he's been pretty decent since he's came in. He's solid enough. I think there's more development to come from him there, but he's been solid enough. But the midfield, I know we've got Friday to come, but the midfield it's a head scratcher for how Danny Rule will approach it on Sunday. It really is, considering the players that we have in form and the players that we want to see in the team and not see in the team. It's a difficult one to try and pick in order to get the balance correct. I haven't been a fan of Diomande, and I'll openly say it, but he has been much improved in the last few times that we have seen him. And in the big games, he tends to kind of show up, Diomande. So I wouldn't be shocked if he is picked on Sunday, but I don't think it will be in replace of Nico Raskin. I think Danny Rule fancies Nico Raskin, and I think he's probably one of the first names in the team sheet for him. So yeah, look, it's like everybody, I think, across the team, mate. Everybody needs a bit of a look at themselves after the way they approach the game on Sunday, and we have to see the best of pretty much all of them for pretty much all the remaining minutes of football that we have left to give ourselves any sort of chance.
Yeah, Ryan. Obviously, your thought on Raskin, and then moving into the front three. The front three just doesn't work. Gassama, Chermeti, Olsson just doesn't seem to work. Olsson, for me, has been such a disappointment. For a guy that reportedly we need to pay 9 million for in the summer, right now, I would not be paying that. He's too safe for me. He doesn't go by a guy. He just... I've just been so disappointed. There's wee flashes there. You think, right, there's a player there, and then I see him against Livingston and he can't do it. Gassama, just hot and cold all the time. That's what a winger's like. But his attitude looks like he doesn't want to be there half the time. And Big Chermeti, just these are the games he should be scoring, and he's not. He'll do it against Celtic, he'll do it against Hearts, but the smaller teams, if you want to say, doesn't do it. What's your kind of thoughts on those players before we move on to obviously upcoming games before the split?
I think Raskin needs to have a long look at himself. He doesn't. I very rarely, if ever, walk away from a game and think to myself, Raskin was outstanding. He ran the show, and you want that from a midfielder. You want a midfielder to be a stick out, control the game, and I think this is. I always refer to Rangers. Watching Rangers can sometimes be like a basketball game because it's back and forward. When you're Rangers, it shouldn't be that. 90% of your games, that Rangers team should control. The midfield should control games in Scotland, Ali, and I think that's largely down to Nico Raskin. I don't think he's that type of player. I don't think he's at the level that some fans like to think he's at. I did laugh a few months ago when people were banding 15, 20 million figures about the place, and I don't see that player personally. I think he's pretty average with a decent song. I'll be honest about it. He flats to deceive, and I would have no qualms about dropping him. I think Diomande has done more in Old Firm games than Nico Raskin has. I know Raskin scored, so is Diomande right enough in Old Firm games, but I always feel as if Diomande does well in Old Firm games, and he's a risk taker, Diamandi, with the ball. He does lose possession a lot and makes the wrong decision, but he's willing to play that cut and pass. He seems to have a bit of balls about him, and that's what we need just now. So I would be bringing him in to the team. The rest of them, the other ones you kind of discussed there, Chermiti. What do you do with this guy? He's like a poor man's Dessers. He'll pop up and score goals, but just not enough. Nowhere near as many as Cyril Dessers did for us. So I really don't know what you do with him, whether you keep playing him or not, or you play 2 up front, which I think is a solution for Sunday. I would go for it. I don't think we are a good enough team to sit back and let Celtic play. I think we've just got to go at them and play 2 up front. So that would maybe help Chermiti. Olsson, it's so early to call it on him, but I don't see it. I see a player who lacks energy, lacks enthusiasm, and doesn't want to take his man on the wing. All the attributes we do not need. When we were sitting here and we said Olsson signed for us, he needs to hit the ground running. We literally meant he needs to hit the ground running. We need to see him taking on players. If he had a spoonful of enthusiasm that Finlay Curtis has, you would maybe have a player in there. He looks as if he doesn't want the ball. He gets it. He takes a step. He turns back and passes the ball back. It's only a matter of time before he becomes a whipping boy with the Rangers fans, because it's not good enough for us. We need to see him take his man on, beat him. You don't see it, and we need that. And we need to see something from soon. Is the transfer you're talking about, is that an obligation? I don't remember seeing it. Is it an obligation, or is it just?
No, it's just it's not an obligation.
Well, I think unless he has a fantastic 10 games, that's a no for me. It's a massive no for me. And I was worried that, I think I said in the pod, I think it did worry me that Olsson was maybe a player that we should have got a few years ago. And I was worried that why is he now getting loaned out from Wolfsburg? And I'm starting to see probably why he's been loaned out, because he looks lacking confidence as well. We don't have time for that, Ali. We need players to hit the ground running. We need players that can play well from now to the end of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he finds himself on the bench soon, because even Barami looks as if he's got more energy and more hunger when he comes on, which is concerning for Olsson. Probably another player I would drop for Sunday.
Yeah, Craig, you can it yourself first. But I don't want to write Olsson off right away in terms of we've got another 10 games to go. But what I've seen of Olsson so far,
Ali. There's a first for everything.
No, but what I've seen of him so far, extremely underwhelmed. What Ryan says there, the safe ball all the time. I expected that guy, and I know he hadn't played a lot of football, but I expected him to come to Scotland and go by players and whip balls in the box. I've not seen it at all. He's put the odd decent ball in, but some of his balls have been shocking. And it's a safe ball all the time, and he really offers nothing for me, Olsson, on the right-hand side. What's your thoughts on Olsson? And do you think he could potentially come good? But that £9 million to buy him, I'm in Ryan's camp right now. I would not be paying that for him.
100%. It's technically a job interview, isn't it? He's here on loan till the end of the season. This is a big stage. Go and prove yourself. At this moment in time, he's doing absolutely nothing there. A nice wee dinked ball in for Chermiti's, one of the Chermiti goals against Hearts last week. I think he's got talent there. There's the 40 caps. I keep saying it, 40 caps for Denmark. You're clearly a good player. But in the last couple of seasons, that seems to have dried up. And like Ryan says, clearly for a reason. That's why he's been loaned out for Wolfsburg to Rangers. But you had all this hype when he was signing that we were getting this Brian Laudrup Mark II stuff and all these stupid comments on social media. And you're like that. We don't even know what type of player this guy is. We know he plays in the wing. He's certainly not going to come in and be Brian Laudrup Mark II. But we can't keep having him in the team if he's going to produce nothing performances like he's been doing of late. Again, hooked at half time against Livingston, the bottom club in the league, says all you need to know. But I think that was partly because he can't work a partnership between himself and Tavernier as well. But like you says, he's not cutting inside, driving at players. He's just literally staying out in the touchline and passing the ball back. So, Olsson's a player I think is going to have to would trust him on Sunday to start the game against Celtic.
Yeah, Carney, what's your thoughts been on Olsson so far? You can see there's flicks and tricks in there at times, but out of the new guys that have come in, he's the one that's been really, really disappointing and really not hit the highs at all for me.
No, definitely not. And Craig pretty much hit the nail on the head there. I think when you're getting subbed off against bottom of the league, Livingston, be it a plastic pitch or not, then that's a wee bit concerning. And I know we kind of changed the shape, and he might have been the one that suffered from that. But if again, without bashing players, if Kasama's staying on the park and you're getting took off, then you need to have a clear look at yourself. You really do. With Olsson, I don't doubt his ability. I don't doubt that he's a decent player. Whether he's just really going through a terrible point in his career in terms of being able to find any sort of form, then possibly that's something where we might be at. We were all pretty excited about him, and I thought, kind of rightly so. I thought it was one of those ones where if we can get the best out of him. But I mean, when he came in, he had kicked, I think he played 3 minutes of football from November or something like that. It was a cameo that he made at the end of a game. So there's still an element of that he's almost in a kind of mid-pre-season, but he has played enough football now that you would expect to be seeing more. He had a great assist against Hearts, can't take that away from him, for the goal for Schumatti's second, I think it was. Was it Schumatti's second? Yeah, it was. The cross for the header. And yeah, you were seeing flashes where you're like, right, he's definitely got ability there. But it's... yeah, I suppose it's maybe the Achilles heel of a majority of our bigger players, in inverted commas, that it's all right and well doing it against the big teams, but it's the wee teams beating the wee teams. These games that we should be winning, that it's our bread and butter. That's where you have to do it all the time. And we're not expecting you to be 9 and 10s every week, but we're expecting you to put in 7 and 8s. And 7 and 8s, no disrespect to the rest of the league, 7 and 8s from the majority of the team is enough to win you games of football in this league, with the ability that we have within the team. And Olsson is one, again, I think Ryan's spot on there. He will become a lightning rod. He really will, unless we start seeing something more from him. I know we don't have an obligation to buy, but right now with the price tag that's hanging over his head, I haven't seen that. Obviously he's got the rest of the season to prove me wrong, and I want him to be superb for the rest of the season, yes, but as of right now I'm going no. I don't think that would be the correct way. And I thought Barami, when he came on, with all fairness to him, some of the balls he put into the box were absolutely superb, genuinely brilliant. He was finding space. Yes, they were down to 10 men and he had no space out there, so you have to take that into consideration. Yes, and I don't think Barami's the answer. I don't think he's got a long-term future at Rangers, but we need people right now that want to stand up and be counted and give absolutely everything. And whether that comes off for you or not, then the fans will be more lenient. I'm not saying we'll be, completely acceptable of kind of poor form, but if we can see that you're doing everything that you possibly can, putting everything that you can into it, you kind of go, look, he's just struggling for form. Yes, then you still have the same conversation about whether you continue to pick him or not. But I don't think he's a bigger issue as what Gassama is. I think Gassama's a bigger issue than what Skov Olsson is. I really do. And unfortunately, I think Gassama's going to feature a lot into the run-in of this season. But on Olsson, there's time yet. I've not went full Ali Pearson and ripped the guy off and bought my ticket back yet to Germany, but he has to show more. He does have to show more, and I would expect to be seeing more. And I don't think that's unfair. I would expect to see more from him with the amount of game, the amount of minutes that he's now got under his belt. So I think he needs to have a bit of an upturn, and it needs to be yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. I hope he's a fantastic last 10 games, and we're waxing lyrical about him, but so far I don't see it. As I say, your eyes don't lie all the time, and I just don't see it. But you never know. Like Craig says, he's got 40 odd caps for Denmark before he went to Wolfsburg with Bruges. He had that fantastic season where he scored 18 goals and assists. So there's a player there, but he needs to do more. Ryan, moving on, obviously a disappointment of Sunday. Them getting beat helped slightly, I think. I know Hearts were the big winners at the weekend, but it did slightly help us in terms of going into this weekend, which we'll cover on Friday, in terms of playing Celtic. We can create a gap there with them. I know they've got a game in hand, but The next few games come up for Rangers up to the split. Obviously, we've got Celtic, Company Ibrox, we're away to Livingston. No, not away to Livingston, sorry, away to St Mirren, which is always a dodgy one. At home to Aberdeen, at home to Dundee United, and away to Falkirk. For me, Ryan, it has to be maximum points. The Rangers have to take, I think that's 5 games around off there, so they've got to take 15 points there. Celtic have a dodgy fixture list as well. We could help by beating them on Sunday and putting them behind us. I look at Hearts' fixture list and you're looking where they're going to drop. There's no many games in there I look like they're going to drop, Ryan, at all. And if I'm being honest about it, and I've said it for a couple of weeks now, going into the split, I think we need at least about a 4-point lead going into that split. And I don't see where it's going to come because I don't see Hearts dropping many points. What's your thoughts?
I'll carbon copy of what you are thinking. I'm the exact same. Sunday was a weird one. I never feel anything towards what they're doing unless we're doing the business. Does that make sense? Like, I'm so invested in Rangers that I'm kind of like, I couldn't care less what they're doing. Yes, great, they get beat. Always good when they get beat. But my emotions are just frustration from how Rangers played, and I'll nail my colours to the mast just now, and it might get clipped. I really, really hope this doesn't get clipped at the end of the season. I don't see them as the contenders, are they? I think they're going to drop out very, very soon, whether it's Sunday or the next couple of weeks or in the split. I'm just the noises I'm hearing from Celtic fans that are friends of mine, or ones that I know. They're in a bad way by the sounds of it, and I think they'll bow out very shortly. So them getting beat against Hibs, I don't really think that's where our eyes should be at the moment. I think it's looking above us and thinking, how do we catch Hearts? Because I think that them dropping points before the split is a must. That 4-point gap probably needs to go, give or take a point, maybe. Okay, so I just think Hearts are, like I said at the beginning of the pod, 9 victories, potentially 8 victories away from winning the league. They can definitely do that, Ali. I've seen enough of them this season. Even in spells, the game we beat them and we deserved the victory. We were great in the second half. But spells in that game, I was like, they're a very good team. They're a very good Hearts team, as good a Hearts team as I've probably seen for many years. That kind of worries me, because Rangers have these spells, these 45 minutes where they do nothing and the Rangers fans are roaring at them, whether they're in the house or whether it's at Ibrox or at the game. Somebody mentioned earlier on, this has happened at Ibrox a few times as well. It's not just an away thing where we play 45 minutes and we're terrible and we get booed off at half time. And this is happening too much. That is not happening with Hearts. Hearts are looking like a team in a title race. And I think we are going to find it really, really difficult to catch them. In those 2 away games you're looking at and you're thinking, St Mirren away, oh, that could be a tricky one. It shouldn't be. Motherwell just took 5 off them, Ali. You know, no disrespect, but we're Rangers and we're looking at St Mirren and going, that's a dodgy one. And Motherwell sweep them aside. And that's the reflection of where we're at the moment, unfortunately. So,
Ryan, do you
not
think there's another thing? See, you were talking about Hearts there and you're talking about us getting on the players' backs and all that, which we do and which we always continue to do.
Absolutely.
Hearts fans won't do that to Hearts because they're in a position that they're in dreamland. Do you know what I mean? So they have constant backing, which will help Hearts as well. So, if anything, that really, I was just agreeing with your point there, to be completely honest.
No, you're right to say that, because I think I think I've heard, was it McInnes said in one of their games they were drawn, and he said in his post-match interview they ended up winning the game. Somebody will remind me what game it was. But Hearts ended up winning the game. McInnes said the fans stuck with no booing at half time. As you say, they're in dreamland at the moment. They're pinching themselves. They probably didn't expect to be where they are just now. And I'm not saying the Rangers fans shouldn't be booing. I don't personally boo the players, but probably now at this stage of the season, it's not the right time to do it. Like, just shut up and don't say anything, because these players need all the back they can get, as does the manager. I mean, I've just moaned for 45 minutes about them, but anyway, I just think that they've got something. They look like the team that are in a title race, Ali. And at the moment, as it stands right now, we don't.
Yeah, Craig. Hearts fixtures, you look at in the next 5, they play Saturday before we kick a ball against Celtic, so they can go further ahead. They're at home to Aberdeen. You would fancy them. Then they go away at Kilmarnock. I know Kilmarnock's had a bit of a resurgence under Neil McCann, but again, you would fancy them.
Pitch.
Yeah, I know. And then I think they've been there and beat them anyway. They're at home to Dundee. They're away to Livingston, obviously, where we get caught. And then they're at home to Motherwell, which is a bit of a tricky one with Motherwell. Don't count Motherwell out in terms of splitting Rangers Celtic potentially for second place too. They're in thereabouts as well. But what's your thoughts on the next run of games up to the split and where we kind of need to be?
Just touching on Motherwell there, I think everybody's going on about this 3-way title race. I think Motherwell have literally just made it a four. They've literally made it a 4-way title race if they can stick with the form that they're on. But regarding Hearts, I kind of called it months ago when I says I think Hearts really need to be taken seriously this season. They're sitting top of the league. They've been in top of the league more or less for right at the first couple of weeks into the league campaign, and they've stayed there. They're doing what Celtic have traditionally done for decades, is finding a way to win even when the chips are down. They might be playing terrible football. They're finding a way to win. I mean, they lost at Ibrox, given that, but even Falkirk at the weekend, they didn't play well. They won the game. They scored the last minute goal against Hibs in the Derby game. They're just winning games. And based on our form, as I say, three draws away from home in the last 3 games. Hearts haven't went on a kind of form like that yet, and I honestly can't see them doing it. I just think they seem to have this kind of momentum, and like Scott's saying about the fans sticking behind them, because they're in a position that they're not used to being in. So everything they do, their fans are, like he says, in dreamland. So they'll have the full backing of their support every single game for now to the end of the season. And we're one result away, potentially Sunday, hopefully not, but we're one result away for our fans just kind of falling away for backing the team, to be honest, and giving up. But no, Hearts are definitely serious title contenders. A couple of tricky fixtures, but like you says, for now to the split fixtures, you'd be expecting them to win as well.
Yeah, if Hearts win Saturday, which I would expect them to beat Aberdeen, there'll be 7 points clear of Rangers before we kick a ball. If we draw, for instance, against Celtic, they're 6 points ahead of us, and I don't know how many points ahead of Celtic at that point, 8 or something. I know Celtic's got a game in hand, but if that was the case after Sunday, I don't think you could see past Hearts after that, really. I don't think you could. But what's your thoughts on the next 5 games in Hearts as well? Because I don't see where they drop. And I seriously think we need a lead going into that split, because I don't trust us going on a winning run at all.
Well, ultimately, we won't. I don't think we'll have a lead, even if we were to make it to top. I don't think we're going to have a significant lead that we can properly rely on. I could probably go back to one of the first points that I made tonight. It's in Hearts' hands now. It's up to Hearts now whether they win the league or not. It's not up to anything else. They shouldn't really be thinking about any other results going elsewhere. They should be taking care of their own business. If they take care of their own business, they win the league. It's as simple as that, and they probably deserve to. I don't think either Rangers or Celtic can really stand there and say that we deserve to win the league and they didn't. Hearts have been the most consistent team of the season. Obviously, I don't want them to win it. I want Rangers to win the league, but right now we are making things so much more difficult for ourselves than it really should be. We could have without these daft draws and these kind of 3 away games that have just made us stumble a little bit, we could really have been doing without them right there and then. And I say I wasn't expecting Rangers to go the rest of the season and not drop points. But again, I'm kind of repeating myself. I still think that we've played all the cards now. You can't play the cards anymore. It's now win or bust. We have to win every single game. We have to continue to put pressure on Hearts. They've built a lead before. If we let them, in terms of the old firm teams, let them build a lead, they will build a lead again, and then it'll be unassailable. They'll win the league, and there's nothing we can do about it apart from look at ourselves and look at the daft points that we dropped when we really should have been winning the game. Hearts are serious. Hearts are now outright favourites, in my opinion, because they have to be, because mathematically, if they win all their games and we win all of ours, or even if we beat Hearts and they win the rest of their games, they win the league. It's as simple as that. So there's not much that we can do about that. We have to hope that Hearts stumble, and we have to hope that Rangers don't. But they are the favourites now, and I don't think I agree with Ryan. I think if we I know it's a big if we go and beat Celtic on Sunday, I think Celtic fans will admit themselves that's pretty much them out of it. And it would be up to us and Hearts to kind of fight it out. But again, with the way that things are, the way the ties look, the way the fixtures look, it's our away form. There's the bit that troubles me. It's the bit that makes me really wonder if we can do this. It's going to be interesting, but I do think anything other than 3 points on Sunday, and the Hearts win on Saturday, we have to get 3 points. It's as simple as that. The pressure's put firmly back on us, and then we just have to hope, as I say, that Hearts do slip up. But as I say, right now, there is probably more to go in this. The people might say if teams are going to drop points, that's fine. Hearts and Celtic can drop points if they want, but Rangers can't.
No, I agree. We can't drop it in. One more drop, and that's it. It's completely done for me. I mean, as I've said, I still personally don't think we'll win the league. I don't think we've got enough to do it. But we'll wait and see. Sunday's a big game to get back in an Old Firm. They've got a chance to put a lead over Celtic anyway, which is big. And then obviously you've got the quarter final coming up the following week. Talking about the quarter final, the emails get dropped on, was it yesterday, I think? I got an email in my inbox saying I'd bought a VIP hospitality thing with Rangers, 53 quid. And I was like, what's this? Looked at my bank account, I know. I thought, what Diddy games are coming up for 53 quid hospitality, Christ? I
thought one of you lads had took my details and treated me. I was like, thanks very much, lads. I was about to send a message into the group chat saying, cheers, lads. Brilliant.
I actually thought, I wonder if you'd done something with the podcast, but then I thought there's no games. There's no games coming up.
I don't like these enough to do that.
The only thing you would get for that price hospitality is bloody Rangers women team playing at Ibrox or something. That's it.
I don't think you wouldn't get a pie and a Bovril at the stands for that price, mate.
Yeah, so obviously the SLO tweeted a wee bit after saying I think they were doing test emails or something, and that shouldn't have went to people, so completely disregard it. But Ryan, the statement from Rangers came out, the emails came out. Where do we start? £53 is the price for an adult ticket. A concession ticket that should be discounted because it's a concession ticket is 53 quid. A child ticket is 43 quid. Now, I do know when Rangers and Celtic play each other in the league and Rangers go to Parkhead and vice versa, I know it is £50+, nearly 60 quid a ticket. I get it. I did think the Scottish Cup should be capped. I thought it maybe was capped. Obviously isn't. The two of them have got together, came up with this price, and they're going to make a hell of a lot of money off of one game. The guys in the Broom loan, I think, have been shafted. For me, the fairest way of doing it was obviously Celtic are getting a full Broom loan, but for me, it should then go down to all the guys in the CCs should be getting their ticket. So if you're on the Broom loan and you've ticked the CCs, you should be getting your ticket, even though you'll be moved to somewhere else in the ground. And then the rest should go on to guys with season tickets that haven't ticked CCs. Because there's guys in the Broom loan that have been to every cup game this season. They tick the CCs for a reason, and the potential might not be going to this game. So I think they've been really harshly treated. What's your thoughts on it?
It's almost like Rangers thought to themselves, we're going to annoy a lot of fans here, and somebody went, oh, hold my drink. Like, well, annoy even more when I tell you this idea. I honestly flabbergasted when I seen the prices. Flabbergasted. The adult price I expected to be around about 50, 49, 50, 51 pounds. £53. It's not going to be £53 if you get to the semi-final. So how that works, I don't know. It won't be £53 if you get to the final. And for concessions, obviously I've got my dad. It doesn't matter. He's absolutely coating and packing cash all over the place. But for people, that is a lot of money. There are older people out there who really could do with not spending £53 on a cup game. I think it is disgusting, absolutely disgusting for the club. Appalling. In terms of the allocation, I've said, but I mean, I like the full stand when they've got it, but it wasn't common sense to do that because times have moved on, Ali. We have season ticket holders in that Broomloan, and I know some lads that sit in the Broomloan, and I say I've had many conversations about this, even with you guys or other people. I think the fairest way to do it would have been for them to filter people out, and I'm going to include myself here. I did not go to Annan, and I did not go to Queen's Park. If I'd got an email saying, because you weren't at those 2 games, we're prioritising the guys who were at those games and are on CCCS, they'll be priority 1, and you'll come second or third. I wouldn't have had a problem with that, Ali. I wouldn't have a problem. I think people have been really, really shortchanged by the club. If you're on CCCS and you don't get a ticket, but people who are not on it do, there's something way wrong there for me. It's lazy for the club as well, if you look at it that way. So I think they've got it all wrong. It won't change. The price won't change. The tickets won't change. And there'll be unhappy Rangers fans who, some of them might pack a season ticket in over it. Some of them might just give it up. But you know what? They've got thousands of fans in a waiting list waiting to grab the ticket off them. And that is all that matters. As we discussed on the group chat last night, demand outweighs it. So unfortunately, you're just a number.
Exactly. As I said last night in our chat, they could have charged £100 a ticket and they would have got it. I would have paid it. Folk would have paid it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Christopher McLaren's asking what's the CCs. The CCs is basically if you've got a season ticket at Ibrox, you tick a box which basically says Rangers can take money out of your account for every home game that's at Ibrox outside the league. So whoever they're playing, Europa League, Champions League, whatever it is, Scottish Cup, League Cup, that comes out your account. That's what that is. But Craig, what was your thoughts on it? I mean, I thought £53 was scandalous. I really do, and I understand it's Rangers Celtic. It's the premium game if you want to see up here, and that's what's charged in the league games. But for a Scottish Cup, as Ryan says, that if you get to the final, the ticket price will probably be along the lines of £40. What's your thoughts on it? And as Ryan kind of summed up, it's the demand outweighs the supply. That's the end of the day.
When you posted the wee thing in the chat last night, I genuinely thought it was a wind up. I was like, it's not going to be anywhere near that. I was thinking maybe like £40. I was like, that would have been £15 markup for the last round. But when I get my wee email dinging in, and then I seen it actually was £53, I was like, oh, come on, honestly. Like you say, the semi-final and the final is going to be cheaper than that. And literally because we're playing Celtic, we're going to be paying double what any of the other fixtures in the quarter-final draw will be paying. Again, it's the same thing that happens all the time. It's this big flagship fixture for Scottish football. Like you say, the demand's there. If we didn't buy our ticket, somebody's just going to step right in after us and buy it. So they know they're going to get the money. It's just one of the things. But like you says, with the fans in the Broomloan been fleeced, again, I think that's just a poor show for the club. Like you says, we Joe Blogg sitting in the club deck on the continuous credit card scheme should have his seat taken off him and given to one of these guys on the continuous credit card in the Broomloan. It's as simple as that, really. But £53, it's over the top. Let's hope it's going to be worth the £53. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't know, Christ. Carney, also coming up to the hour now, but what is your thoughts on the ticket pricing and the guys in the Broomloan?
It's been a hell of a positive podcast tonight, lads. I'm glad I made the extra
I was
effort.
thinking that.
You're welcome.
This is proper old school, by the way.
It's too high. There's no other way around it. It's too high. I think Rangers forget that we pay for season tickets as well. On top of that, and I think they've misread the room a little bit and got a little bit greedy. However, in the same time, I still say, the guys that are telling you, well, don't buy it then, are the guys waiting for you not to buy it so they can buy it. So even if they agree with you that it is too high, and look, at the end of the day, we all pay it. We're all going to pay it. I'm going to pay it. But I do think they've kind of misread the room a little bit, especially not having a concession. Like what's how can you say that How can you say that the concessions don't deserve an actual concession? I mean, it would have been a nice touch for the club to say, right, I don't know, what's a tenner to them, what's a £7 to them, or whatever. I think it's, I think they've kind of misread the room a little bit there. But look, I say it all the time, lads. Unfortunately, we're the mugs, and Rangers have us exactly where they want us, and we'll all pay it. And on one hand, I can see why they would do it. On the other hand, I'm still thinking, well, you're still taking a liberty a little bit, but then you're caught in the middle of going, well, even if I do feel like they're taking a wee bit of liberty with it, I'm still going to pay it, and I'm still going to go. So, yeah, it's one of those ones, like, I feel like preaching about it's one thing, but the fact is that I'm going to go and do it. It's kind of like, well, what do you expect when you continue to keep going and doing it? So, look, the club are there to make the money. The fact is that I think each club now from this single, whether if this stat's true, I think I've seen it on Twitter, that both clubs will make more from this tie than they will if they win the cup.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
that's $2.5 million, I think, this one tie.
Yeah, so and there's sort of like $1 million each or something that they get without obviously the SFA taking their bit from it, and then you only get $500,000 for winning the cup. So Scottish football in a nutshell, right there for you.
No, and I actually forgot to talk about VAR today, about the Livingston VAR decision, but we'll leave that for another day. We have hit the hour mark, so yes, I'd like to thank everyone in the comments tonight, everyone for watching us tonight. Yes, it has been a bit negative tonight. I know some people do love a negative podcast. We'll be back on Friday. I think we'll be a bit more ramped up on Friday. An Old Firm coming, or a double Old Firm if you want to say. Two in a week coming. So I think we'll be ready for that on Friday. But yes, thanks to my guest for tonight, Mr. Ryan Haymarch. You would have loved this podcast tonight, Ryan. Negativity. Brilliant.
Man, this
Up your
is
street.
right up my street. Absolutely buzzing. I'm going to George Square to celebrate this. No, thanks very much, guys. It's good to go on. I do feel a bit better after getting off my chest. Just want to remind folk that I am still... there's still numbers available for the signed Rangers shirt that I am raffling off. So if anyone's interested in a ball, I am doing the draw on Sunday morning before I leave for the game. Please get in contact with me or any of the boys and I will get a number to you. And just on a positive note, I do like Chikwani, I do like Mikey Moore, and I like the boy Romans. They've done very well. Cheers.
There's a bit of positivity for you. Craig McKenzie, thanks for coming on. I'm sure by the time Friday comes round, you'll be right up for it.
Just like Ryan, I love positivity, all the negativity as well. So it was right up my street as well. No, it was a good show. Like I says, hopefully there's more positive news to come after the weekend. But on a wee positive note, my dad that no longer goes to the games entered a wee competition for Scottish Gas and won 2 tickets for this cup game. So he doesn't need to pay £53 and Daft Craig does. So there's a wee positive snippet for you this evening. But it's been a pleasure, lads.
Rangers.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's it taking, Craig? Is it the guest?
Bastard. My sister's going, I think, man.
Oh, is your sister's going? That's all right, that's good, isn't it? Last but not least, Mr. Scott Carney up in Inverness, really hoping it doesn't snow up there or something and you get stuck up there for the weekend.
It's remarkably mild in Inverness.
No, I know, it's not to snow.
Yeah, it's definitely not to snow. But yeah, hi, as somebody said, real laugh coming on here. Honestly, it really is. Look, it is what it is. As I say, it's. I don't think I'll ever apologise for it. It's how we all feel, and that's how I encourage you all to be when we're on the pod. So, if it's how you want to be, then good. I'm happy for you to express your comments here. And yeah, people love a bit of negativity from us. I'm not going to lie. But let's hope. Well, Friday will be a bit more upbeat. That's for absolutely sure. And then obviously Sunday, hopefully, you're seeing very happy faces after a game of football on Sunday afternoon. But yes, always a pleasure, mate. I had nothing else to do anyway, so I thought I'd come on and cheer myself up. And yeah, Ryan right now is literally that guy that in a meme that's sitting in a bath, circling a glass of red wine, just enjoying his life because he bathes in the negativity. So it's great to have you back, Ryan. That felt like a proper Haymarch podcast. That did.
If you don't get that John Hamm thing where he's standing in the club dancing like that, if you don't get that up in the socials, I'll be disappointed.
Oh mate, I know. The signal up here's terrible. One of you can put it together for a change and get it out. Good signal up here's terrible. But no, look, a pleasure, lads. Thank you everybody in the chat. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for everyone for tonight for coming on. But they've got a chance. I mean, we'll be back on Friday, but they've got a chance, Rangers, to flip the mood on Sunday, especially at Old Firm. There's a chance to potentially put a bit of breathing space between us and Celtic, and potentially maybe put Celtic out of it in terms of what Hearts do on Saturday as well. So we'll wait and see. It'll come and go, this title race. It's been an absolute bloody roller coaster this season. I cannot wait for it to bloody end, because I just kind of go through that every year. But we'll see what happens at the weekend. But we'll be back on Friday. I think it's myself, Mr. Carney, and who else is on Friday night? Carney?
Young Ross.
And Young Ross. So the three of us will be on Friday. Hopefully bringing a bit more positivity. Team news as well, in terms of who'll be lining up potentially on Sunday. So yes, we'll be back on Friday. We have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Good night.